Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else in between, welcome back to the 42 podcast, where as always we are talking about the failings of the late great human race. And once again, from last time, our good friend Alex. Hey Alex, how you doing today, buddy?
What's up? Doing good. How about you?
It's alright, man. I'm just, it's getting ready to move and work and everything else. It's been craziness here, so just hoping to get things going and doing okay.
It's another week closer, right?
Yeah, it's we're moving a week from Saturday.
Oh my god. Well, I wish you luck.
Thanks. We're getting movers to help us unload the truck, so that'll be nice.
Yeah,
'Cause
sweet.
this house is essentially 4 stories,
Oh my
so
god.
I don't really want to be lugging furniture all the way up because it has a basement and a finished attic,
hmm
and I don't want to be lugging like washers and dryers or.
Yeah, I understand, man.
It's like it's totally worth the $200 or $300 I'm paying those guys for 4 hours.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to break your back.
No, that's the nice thing about having a job that pays okay. You can splurge when it comes to moving and stuff.
hmm
Because I've moved so many times where I've just had
Yeah,
to like, at least this move I'm not having to like rush to move out. Like,
yeah,
oh, when I was in my early 20s, I was living in this apartment complex, and they really wanted me. They really because they knew I wasn't renewing, and someone wanted to move in early. So I get a call like a Tuesday, and like if you can be out by Thursday night, we'll give you $500.
Oh my
So
god.
I'm like, okay. Guess I'll
That's
go live with my family for a couple of weeks until I can
yeah.
find a new apartment. But for 500
That's
bucks, especially when you're 22, 23, that's I mean, even now, $500 isn't a small amount of money.
yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on in my world, and work and all that crap. So
Yeah.
yay, work.
Yeah.
So, what do you do, Senor Alex? Like, you're a programmer? Like,
Professionally, I'm a web developer.
yeah.
I develop websites.
Okay, so why haven't you done anything with our website?
Well, we're using content management system, and I don't want to get too technical, but those can be difficult to deal with. Like if you're trying to do something that they don't handle, it can be difficult.
Ah, okay. We don't, hey, don't feel bad about getting technical. We have bored our audience to death with getting
Yeah,
technical and weird shit. So,
yeah.
so
That's one of like the perils of using WordPress is like if you're trying to use it to do something that it's not supposed to do, then it can be a real pain.
well, I am not a professional like you. So, I mean, if you want to use something else, we can definitely switch over. That's
No,
fine.
no,
If
no,
you
no.
want
It's
to
all
make it
good.
super awesome or whatever.
I think our website's really nice. That's fine.
Yeah, Squarespace, all in all, does a pretty good job pretty quickly.
hmm Yeah. I haven't used it myself, but I've weirdly recommended it to a lot of people. like people are like, "What do I do about a website?" And I'm just like, "Just use Squarespace."
Yeah, and if you pay for like the year up front, they give you a domain for free, so that's not too
Right.
bad.
42 Entertainment, not sponsored by
Not
Squarespace.
spon- but if they want to sponsor us, we'll be more than happy to let them.
I think some like Audible, they have this thing. It's like it's kind of like Amazon does with the affiliate links. So basically, for every person you get to sign up with Audible, they pay you.
Right.
Instead of
Yeah.
like paying you upfront. I'm sure that Squarespace does a similar thing.
Oh, I'm sure they do. And man, I love uh, Audible. Love that service. It's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. I've had my ups and downs with Audible. Actually, I don't know if you want to go into that.
What I like about it is at least now you can return books. So if you get like an hour into it and you realize, wow, this narrator sucks, you can return it.
No. Yeah, they didn't have that when I first started. I don't think.
Yeah, that's a new feature that makes it so you don't get like burned real bad.
Yeah, yeah. Now the thing about Audible that I didn't realize either when I first started. Well, I'll just explain the whole. It doesn't take very long to explain. Basically, I was subscribed to Audible, and I was like too lazy to shut it off, and it went for like 6 months. So I had like, and I think I was subscribed to like the 2 credit per month thing, so
Oh,
you get 2 books
Jesus.
per month, or maybe not. Maybe it was 1 credit, but I had like a ton of like a huge backlog of credits. And it came time. I was like, I'm just gonna cancel this because I'm never using the credits. So this is stupid. I'm paying. So I was gonna cancel it, and I didn't realize that you have to use all of the credits before you cancel your subscription. And I just went nuts. I was like, "Are you kidding me? I've been paying like $15 a month for this service. Why should I have to like dump all my credits on books I might not even want right now?" You know what I'm saying?
Right. I haven't had that issue with it.
Yeah. No,
My it
if
was
you want to cancel, you can't have credits that are unspent.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got them to allow me to cancel my subscription while being able to keep the credits.
If Kindle Unlimited had a better selection of audiobooks, I would
Hmm.
do that.
Hmm. Oh, they do audiobooks?
Yeah, and they'll sync with your Kindle. So if
No,
you're
no,
like reading on your Kindle, it'll pick up.
but the Kindle Unlimited is like the thing where you get a book every month, right? As part of. No, I'm
It's
thinking of.
$10 all you can read, all you can listen to.
Right.
So, but their selection isn't as big as
Hmm.
Audible's
Hmm.
for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
But I'm just waiting for, the 5 to 10 years down the road when Amazon Prime is like unlimited audiobooks, unlimited comic books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cell phones are we're gonna be paying like $500 a month for Amazon Prime, but it's gonna be everything you could ever use. Internet service provider.
Yeah. Amazon is a pretty great company usually.
Yeah, yeah. Their employees are terrible people, but it's a good company.
Wait, why do you say that?
Oh, well, I can't. This is a you generalizing from the couple I've met, but
Okay.
last year I interviewed with a startup out in Seattle, and the two people who would have been my boss were both ex-Amazon guys,
Hmm.
and they were assholes
Yeah.
and arrogant sons of bitches. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, you're not this cool. But they think you're like, oh, I worked at Amazon. I'm like, whoop de doo.
Yeah. Were they tech guys, like engineers, or?
One of them was, and like the guys who weren't as high a level that I met there were pretty cool. Even the ones that like, there was one that was at Amazon before this other company, and he was really cool. But he was like, yeah, Amazon's it's a job and it sucked. But the other guys were like, bro, Amazon is the best thing ever. So,
Uh,
so
yeah, I hear there's a pretty big split between like the tech workers at Amazon and the non-tech workers. Like, if you're like a warehouse worker, it sucks. But if you're like a programmer, it's awesome. That's what I heard.
you can take your dog to work.
Oh yeah, Amazon. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, one like actually a guy who I was working with at my current job, he went to Amazon not too long ago.
Hmm.
He didn't outright say it, but they more than doubled his salary. So I'm like, man, maybe I could put up with it if they more than doubled my salary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how those big companies do, right?
Yeah, I wish my big company did that. Because I work for a Fortune 100 company or Fortune
Oh,
200 company. I'm just like, oh God.
yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, I've already ranted about the bonus structure and pay raise structure at my job. I won't do it
Yeah.
again for the people
Okay,
listening.
I'll have to go back and listen.
At least I think I have. If I haven't, maybe I'll do it some other time.
Okay.
All right. So you wanted to talk, because we always talk virtual reality on this podcast. So you wanted to talk some PlayStation VR. So what's going on with that
Yeah,
shit?
so, well, let me go through the backstory a little bit of my gaming history, if you don't mind.
Okay. No, yeah.
It all started when I was 5 years old, and I was no, well, actually, I was around 6, and I got an NES for Hanukkah, and
Nice.
that's when it all started. But for a really long time, I was a PC gamer, long time, like 10 years. And then this past holiday season, I decided to buy a PlayStation because it was like super cheap. Did I tell you the story about how I got the PlayStation?
We've not heard this story.
All right, it's a good story. I promise, it's a good story.
Having a new
So
podcast host is like having a new girlfriend. You get to hear all the new stories.
my girlfriend is so tired of all my stories. So it's really good though. For like the whole holiday season, from like the end of November until like January 10th, or I don't remember when it went out. So anyway, they were selling PS4 and either the Nathan Drake collection or Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront.
Right, I remember
You
that.
could either one of those. It was $300. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, I it was tempting. If I didn't already have like a pretty serious rig, I might have picked one up.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, there was some better deals for the Xbox One, but for the PS4, that was like the best deal. So it's $300 and the game, and then for like 2 months, I was like, I'm gonna buy PS4. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a console. It's a great deal. I might as well just do it. I had been getting more and more tired of taking care of my PC, and I was like, I'm just gonna get a console. The night before I decide to buy it, it's 12 a.m. I check the price. It's still $300. And like every retailer, Best Buy, like every single one, they all had it for 300. 2 hours later, I'm about to go to sleep. It's 2 a.m. and it's 350. They raised the price. And I could see across every website, every retailer, that the sales were ending. So I'm like, this is crazy. I have to buy it right now for $300. I see that Target still has it on sale at $299, and Best Buy will do price matches with large retailers. So I call up Best Buy and I'm like, I
You
see,
called them at 2 a.m.?
yes, and they picked up. The customer service picked up Best Buy, and I was like, well, actually, the deal at Best Buy had become it's $350 and you get a $50 Best Buy gift card. So it's still kind of $299, but you have to pay $350 up front and then use the $50 gift card on something else.
Right.
That's really annoying. So I was like, "Can you please price match this? I understand if I can't get the gift card, but I'd rather spend the $300 now than spend $350." And Best Buy price matched for $299 the Nathan Drake bundle and gave me the $50 gift card. So it was $250,
Nice.
and that was my story. Yeah, it was crazy. It was down to the wire, man. In between the phone call with the Best Buy associate, Target changed their website, so it was no longer $299. It was crazy. Yeah. So anyway, I have a PS4. I've had one for a month or two. It's pretty great, and I've been waiting for more information about PSVR. And then this past week, they announced a release date and a price. Have you read about it at all?
No, I haven't had a chance.
Yeah. So it's going to be $399.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and it's coming out in October. And just for reference, I don't know if you guys talked about this. I mean, you mentioned it before, but the HTC Vive is $799, and the
Right.
Oculus Rift is $599.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming in well below, but the specs are obviously not as good as the Vive or the Oculus. I don't know. So have you tried any VR headsets at all?
Oculus.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell? When did you?
2014 San Diego Comic Con.
Oh yeah, what did you do the Eve Valkyrie or whatever?
It was a Pacific Rim demo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
So yeah, it was really cool. You've seen Pacific Rim, right?
I saw like the last half of it.
God.
Yeah, I know. I missed that one.
Well, it's if you when you see the beginning, it's like when basically when his brother dies. It's that part of the movie, but from I'm always gonna call him Jax because that's who he is in Sons of Anarchy. I don't remember his name in Pacific Rim.
Hmm.
Um, it's from his point of view, and it was like a 2-minute demo, and it was really cool. Like it was really cool.
Yeah. Was that the dev kit?
Yeah, like this was 2 years ago, so it was like not nearly what they're putting out now.
Yeah. Do you remember which dev kit it was? Because there's dev kit 1 and then dev kit 2.
I want to say it was one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My company actually gave all of us, all of us? Yeah, they gave all the employees at the time. Or all the devs, but there was only like 4 or 5. They gave us all dev kit 2s from Oculus.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I only actually ended up using it a little bit because it was pretty cumbersome and hard to use. But there's this game called Elite Dangerous. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, for the listeners who may not know, Elite Dangerous is a space flight simulator.
And it's also like kind of MMO-y, right?
Kind of. They basically instance everything, so you're not like you can play with other players, but you kind of have to arrange it. It's not like a regular MMO where you are constantly surrounded by other people.
Okay.
But playing that in Oculus Rift, dude, I would spend, and I'm actually thinking about doing this. Don't tell my girlfriend because she'll kill me. I mean, she kind of already knows already. Like, I would spend like the $1,600 on a really nice PC, plus the $600 on a really nice on the Oculus, just to play that one fucking game in VR because that's how amazing it is. It's so transformative and, God, dude, oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's.
If you ever
Oh, go ahead.
get the chance, like, it's so amazing.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'll be on the low end, but I'll be able to run an Oculus on my
Yeah.
rig.
What GPU do you have?
I've got let me pull up the specs.
Is it AMD?
Yeah, it's an AMD.
Oh, okay. I'm never buying AMD ever again.
It was good it was good.
No, the price is always great, but you always end up getting bitten in the ass by the shitty drivers.
I've definitely had some driver issues. That is for sure, especially with Windows 10. Like Windows 10
Yeah.
has been a
Yeah, I was having
bitch.
blue screens of death.
Do what?
I was having blue screens of death from their shitty drivers. Blue screen of death. It was making my computer all fucked up.
Yeah. But luckily it's calmed down.
Yeah.
So I'll run through my specs here real quick. So
Okay.
I've got an Asus Pro R2 motherboard, a Sapphire Vapor X Radeon R9 270. And I've
Okay.
got 2 of those cross-fired.
Oh, okay. Then you should be fine.
And I got the AMD FX 8350 Black Edition 8 core, 4 gigahertz.
AMD?
Huh? Yeah, the AMD.
I don't know how that would run. How that's compared to whatever processor they want.
It was,
But I guess it's,
it was. I mean, it compares well to a lot of the last generation i7s before, like the brand new generation. And I'm running 32 gigs of DDR3 RAM.
okay. Do you know how many USB ports you have?
On the front 2 and on the back, I want to say like 4.
Yeah, because apparently you need at least 4 USB 3.0 ports. USB 3.0 ports. 4 of them.
4. I thought it was just 2.
Maybe, I don't know. I should check. Maybe it's 2 and 1 USB 2.0. I don't remember. But it's crazy. You need like a lot of USB ports. I would make sure like that it's up to snuff before you spend the 6.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm sure there's like an Oculus Rift,
Yeah,
tester
on their
tool.
website. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you also? They have. I'm sure we'll get back to PSVR in a minute. But did you see? They're selling Oculus Ready PCs, desktop PCs.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that.
They're actually some of them are actually pretty good deals.
I don't-
Especially. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw somebody was selling an Oculus specific graphics card that had the extra USBs built in.
Shit.
So basically, what it did is you put the graphics card in the back, and it had another thing that went into one of your SATA slots with like a two USB 3.0 slots that you could just hook directly into.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, obviously, it was a beefy graphics card.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. Um, all this stuff.
And they've been saying this would be a thing for 20 years. And now it's finally
Yeah,
here.
I think even now it's still pretty early. Like it's still like all these systems except for the PSVR, they're all going to be in pre-order for a long time, and the inventory is going to be super low.
Right, but this is the first time where there's been a major push into the homes with virtual
Oh
reality.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, there's never been anything like this before.
That's true. Well, except for the what's it called, the Nintendo thing.
Oh, Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
Thing was awesome. I love Virtual Boy.
uh, so PSVR. There's a so yeah. So the thing about PSVR that's interesting is even though it's a lower cost, the fact that the PlayStation 4 only has like so much processing power, and like people are wondering what kind of games is the PSVR actually going to be able to render. And so there's I don't know how you've heard of Google Cardboard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and the Samsung Gear VR.
yeah.
It's kind of like PSVR is in a mid place between Oculus and Samsung VR.
Okay, so I mean, there's going to be a lot of people adopt that because they can just buy it and plug it in their
Oh yeah,
PlayStation.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it like crazy, right? Because it's like so much cheaper, and it's just so much. That's the thing about PS4. I might not be able to play all the games I want in the way that I want, like I can with the PC. I prefer mouse and keyboard for FPS. Um, but it's just so much easier. You just turn it on and start playing games, and you don't have to worry about shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. God, especially when it comes to like streaming games. Ugh.
Hmm. It's really easy. But yeah, I think the PSVR is going to do pretty well because of its price point, definitely.
Right, and it's like, oh, I can just. It's sort of like, instead of buying like a PS5 or whatever, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I'll just spend a couple $100 on this and try it out.
yeah.
Because at that, was it $400?
The PSVR,
Yeah.
yeah, it's $400.
I mean, that's at a.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
it's 400, but apparently you need the PlayStation camera. That's like another 60 or 40. And then if you want the full functionality, you have to get PlayStation Move controllers. And I don't know how much they cost.
Oh,
Maybe like
they'll
another
bundle
50.
all that together for like
Yeah,
four
yeah,
hundred fifty
yeah.
bucks. But still,
It's
that's a good price point. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's
yeah.
not too hard to save up that much.
No, it's and you don't need a gigantic, powerful computer. I've priced it out, and including the $600 for an Oculus, you're gonna have to spend like at least if you're building from scratch, you're gonna have to spend at least $1,200 on a PC. Like the minimum supported graphics card on the Nvidia side is a 970, and that alone is $300.
Right.
So a 970, that's almost the entire cost of the PSVR alone. Um, yeah,
Right. But it's one of those things like that Oculus is going to look amazing. you
it's
know.
true. It's true. It is gonna look, but that's the other thing. Like how, and people have been asking this question: if you buy a 970, how long is that going to be able to play the games in on Oculus that you want to play? Probably not that long. Um, people might be getting screwed by buying the minimum supported graphics card now. So if you really want to be safe, you go with like a 980 Ti. That's $650.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are huge.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Hmm.
Really, like I probably won't buy it, but I really want to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm also like $600. Jesus.
And yeah, it's crazy, but the experience I think is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, hopefully it's gonna be all like holodeck and Ready Player One and shit happening.
Hmm. Well, that's the HTC Vive. That's even crazier. Like, you have to have a whole room in your house in order to use that shit. because of the spatial awareness. It's crazy.
Right. I would love like that sounds super cool to me. I like
There,
the
there's this
spatial.
there's this great animated GIF that I saw of this guy. I don't know. He's playing some game. I'm not sure what it was, but there was this part in the game where like he's lifting a ceiling tile. He's like on top of the ceiling, so like in the ceiling, and
Mhm.
he's lifting a ceiling tile to go like through the ceiling into the room below it. And he lifts the ceiling in the game. He lifts the ceiling tile off, and he's trying to put his head through the ceiling, and he hits the floor in real life. And it's hilarious. So, I mean, yeah, with really good VR, it can really trick your brain into thinking, that that's real.
Hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, just my little experience with the Oculus was enough to prove that to me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
VR is cool stuff.
it is, and yeah, it's just like a year or less after it comes out, you're going to hear all the horror stories about the people who go in and basically never come out.
Yeah, people have been talking about that and about how like we're going to discover new psychological like illnesses and stuff that we may never have seen before because and there'll be like tons of extra cases of like dissociative I don't know what syndrome or whatever because of that. I guess it remains to be seen.
Yeah, it's going to be like when WoW and Evercrack were huge, and all those terrible like, oh my God, your child's going to die
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. I'm people did die. Did we talk about this on the last show? Like people legit died.
Oh, I know people legit died. I
Yeah.
mean, but still, you know what I mean. Like, there were so many terrible stories about how like terrible WoW was and
Hmm.
EverQuest, and those I guess were the two really big ones that really just destroyed people's lives.
Hmm.
And I lost friends to WoW. Like, just never saw them again.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
never get into it. I tried.
I was into it for a while. Never at that level where it's like that's all you're doing, but I could understand. It was very easy to understand why that was happening to people because you have to, in order to see everything that the game offers, you have to put a certain amount of time, like a lot of time, like 3 days a week into it. Uh, yeah,
So it's basically your second job.
for some people, I mean not 3 days, but like 3 nights a week, you people would do it pretty religiously.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. RP like especially MMOs just never done a thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever get into D&D?
Yeah, I play D&D right now.
Yeah. Oh
Actually,
yeah.
it's like I really just started playing right when we moved to Pittsburgh, so I've only been playing for like a year and a half.
Hmm. What
It's
edition?
5e.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fun. We just started the new season for Adventures League, which has been
What is that?
um I don't know, but it's all like vampires and goth and it seems pretty fun, new things.
Yeah, 5e is interesting.
Yeah, everyone says it's a lot easier than any of the previous editions, so
Mhm.
but I don't really know because I never really played it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more simplified.
One of these days, I'm actually gonna play the Dresden RPG.
Yeah, I, we should do that. I actually had an idea. You want to hear it? It's like a mini one shot campaign.
Okay.
It would take place during World War II, and it starts off with basically the whole idea is like it's to introduce players to the game, even though I've never actually DM'd it. And like so you're introducing characters as the story goes on, and it starts with the first character is a is a grizzled African American soldier who's been separated from his unit, and he gets attacked by a ghoul, and then gets saved by a an apprentice wizard, and on and on and on. Yeah, there'll be more characters, but
Nice. Yeah, anytime you want to play, I already have my fate dice.
yeah,
And
I have to fly out to Pittsburgh basically,
I'll
right?
just do it over Skype.
Yeah. Well, they have Roll20 .net is
Uh,
an online thingamabob.
Let me Level20.net.
Roll 20, like a D20. Roll
Oh,
20 dot
level
net.
20.
And yeah, you can. I've never actually tried it, but I heard it's pretty good. It's
Ooh, it looks fancy.
it's free too, I think.
It looks. Don't look free, but it might be. Roll 20
I
for
mean,
Android, iPad.
it's free to sign up.
Huh, interesting. I'll have to check that out. Because
Hmm.
I know a lot of people play or just play over Skype.
Hmm.
Maybe we could like have a RPG Twitch channel going.
Yeah, that would be fun. We could
That'd
do
be
that.
fun, yeah. It's not because like I got my older brother like the all the books and stuff for it. We're like, yeah, we're gonna play and do all this. We never did.
Oh, the books for the Dresden Files.
Yeah,
RPG? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got him into Dresden Files, and he's an addict too now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a good series.
it is a good series. Uh, okay, so I want to depart since we're seems like we're petering out here.
Okay.
All right, so
This is it.
this is it. So we were at dinner a week ago Thursday, and me and my wife were talking to the bartender, and the bartender asked us, which do you like more, Marvel or DC?" And my wife immediately spit out Marvel, but my first thought was, well, that's a complicated question. What are we talking here? Movies, TV, books, games, comics. So I thought it'd be fun since we always seem to end up on the opposite sides of things to have this discussion.
Hmm.
So where do you want
Well,
to? Huh?
I mean, yeah, I thought you were solid Marvel. I thought you were like 100%.
No, I'm not. No, I go back and forth depending on where we are.
Uh, okay, this is gonna be fun then.
All right, so let's start with let's get comics out of the way. So comics,
Well,
Marvel or DC.
I just want to start with if DC Comics was deleted from reality and never actually existed, I would be fine with that. Now, please continue with what you were saying.
Well, I mean,
Completely fine with that.
but then so you
No,
really
no.
don't like DC at all, do you?
All right. I enjoy the Arrowverse shows. I'm really enjoying. Well, I mean, the Flash is getting kind of stale. Um, and Green Arrow still. I mean, Arrow's still okay. I don't know. I never really read any of the comics, but it always seemed like the heroes were really just terrible and boring, and the villains are the only thing that's cool about DC Comics.
That seems,
And
and it seems the opposite for Marvel, where the
yeah,
heroes are really interesting. I would say over the last long, long stretch, DC has been the better television.
yes,
Uh,
especially with comics. I mean, with animated.
right, because you got
Stuff.
Batman the Animated Series going
Yeah,
way back in the way back, which is amazing. If you haven't
it is.
watched it, go. It's
I
on.
have. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just talking to podcast
Oh,
people.
okay.
Like, go watch Heart of Ice, and you'd be like,
Which one was that?
it
Is that
was
the one with the freeze?
first Mr. Freeze episode, yes. It's like you're like this was meant for 8-year-olds. No
Yeah,
wonder it did poorly.
yeah. That's actually where Harley Quinn was introduced too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the only, and now she's like one of the biggest
Hmm.
people out there.
Like I probably watched that show as like an 11-year-old, like on Saturday morning, and never realized that like Harley Quinn is being introduced. Like I probably watched the episode the first time it aired,
Oh
just
yeah, and
no
she
idea.
wasn't supposed to ever come back.
Hmm.
So that's kind of funny. Do you
Hmm.
ever listen to Fat Man on Batman?
Oh, that's Kevin Smith. No, because like I said earlier, if DC was erased from reality, I'd be.
Well, like
No, I never listened to it.
you should at least listen to the first like 8 or 10 episodes because they're all dedicated to Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
So they have Mark Hamill for 2 episodes,
Oh
which is
wow.
yeah, they talk for 3 hours and never mention Star Wars. It's amazing. They have Kevin Conroy,
Wait,
uh,
who was he? That
Batman.
name sounds. Oh, okay.
He was Batman, and he's been he was every voice of Batman for like 20 years or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
The only and he did the Arkham games, but and then they have Paul Dini,
Oh, they
who
had him on the show.
oh yeah, he's been on it a
Yeah,
bunch of times.
yeah.
Bruce Timm was on there.
Who's that? What does he do?
He's the guy who really created. He's in charge of DC Animated right now,
Okay.
and he really created sort of the art style, and was one of the producers of the show. Um, I actually watched that podcast done live at Comic Con 2012.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think DC easily wins the TV, but if Marvel keeps up what they're doing, they just don't have a long enough track record yet. But Daredevil's been amazing. Jessica Jones is amazing. Well, Marvel Netflix.
Yeah. What do you think about Agent Carter? Did we talk about this already?
I have not actually watched Agent Carter.
Yeah. I I enjoyed the first season. The second season, nah, I don't know. It kind of got really not so good, I guess. A lot of people really enjoyed it. Maybe I just need to give it another shot. But we talked about Agents of Shield already. Oh my, it's still amazing. Like it's still rolling and so good.
I'll get caught up on it eventually.
Gotta, dude, it's so good. Like it's 3 seasons in almost. Well, they're in the middle of their third season, and it's still really good. Um, but yeah, definitely on the television front, Marvel has a lot of catching up to do.
Right. And yeah, like you said, like especially on the animated side, they're so good. I was right at the right age where I was like, cartoons are stupid when Batman Beyond came out,
Oh yeah,
and I've
yeah.
come back to it. And I'm like, oh my god, this show's amazing.
Now that also was for me was so wait, maybe I didn't watch. I no wait, the animated series must have been on before. Was there a second Batman the animated series?
There was like a Batman and Superman Adventures, which was sort of the tail end of Batman and before Batman Beyond.
Now I'm thinking maybe I was actually not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different show. No, 92. Okay, so it probably wasn't watching that episode when it first aired. It might have been like reruns. Um, but Batman Beyond was on around the time that I was definitely watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, it was it's so good. I was
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah, it's good.
Um, you see that they're doing the Killing Joke animated?
Yeah, yeah. It's is coming out, or it is it coming on
They
Netflix?
I don't know where they're releasing it, but they got the permission to go for an R rating, which you
Oh
kind of
wow.
have to with Killing Joke.
Hmm.
Have you read Killing Joke?
I think that's the origin story of right of what's his name, the Joker.
No, no.
What am I thinking of? I know I've heard of it before.
Like Killing Joke was hard for me to get through. Like
Okay.
I was reading it, and I'm like, oh god, this
Oh,
is
this is where what happens to Barbara Gordon.
yep, hmm
Okay,
yep.
it's pretty
Yeah, and
rough.
it's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Beyond fucked up.
No, wait. It is. It does have the origin story of
Well, okay,
the
so
Joker.
yeah, but it was I really didn't think of it as like the main origin story for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's But again, like, so they have DC has some of these really good stories, and then that's it. It's like Marvel has so much cool shit, you know?
Yeah, well, Marvel also gets easily seems they just get crazy with it. It's like, oh yeah, space and magic
No,
and
I would say the same thing about DC. DC, it's like it's all cosmic shit. I mean, Martian the Manhunter is he's Martian.
he's Martian.
Mhm.
I
Uh,
mean, I don't know. I always feel like DC, especially recently, is playing catch up with the comics. Like, oh, Marvel's doing so well, so we have to do something crazy to try and sell things, and they just never do it.
yeah.
Like, it just seems to fall flat.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge, but like most of my comic knowledge comes from reading Wikipedia. So that's the honest truth. But I mean, I'm familiar. So I don't know. What like? Can you give me an example?
Oh, it's just like Marvel was doing really well. Uh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm not huge into comics anymore, but it's like the MCU happened, and DC's like, holy shit, we got to do Justice League.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they just
yeah,
seems to like be throwing shit in there, just like
yeah,
it's like, and we're gonna make somebody gay, but not the real one. We're gonna put him in a pocket dimension, or
yeah.
Earth 2. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, Warner Brothers must really be kicking themselves for allowing Christopher Nolan to talk them out of making the wider DC universe because they're really screwed now. Like the Dark Knight movies were amazing, but that was like a decade, right? Or a
Yeah,
lot of years where they could have been building that up and they chose not to. And then that was all kind of not wasted because they were great movies, but they can't really take any of that and use it.
God, Batman Begins was 11 years ago. Oh,
Yeah,
starting to feel old, man.
yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, it is an older movie now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's crazy balls. Um, yeah, so, so they do that. Yeah, like you're saying, they wasted some time. But I mean, granted, Marvel took a pretty big risk with the MCU, which paid off because they got bought out.
Oh, dude, have you ever heard the stories about John Favreau? He was the director of Iron Man, and Robert Downey Jr.
No, I haven't
Like,
heard.
like they had no scripts going into Iron Man, the first movie, and it was mostly Robert Downey Jr. just improvising and John Favreau directing him, and like well, double handedly, they saved the movie and launched the Marvel franchise. Like
Yeah.
that movie could have been a total fucking failure if it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. being amazing.
Well, he was basically playing himself, for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
it worked. But I mean, how many actors could pull that off?
It's true, and
Yeah.
that relaunched his career.
Hmm.
You know,
And he was taking it seriously enough that it was like, wow, this is like an actual movie with characters we care about and things that make sense. And like when I remember when I first saw Iron Man, it was in theaters, and I was watching with my friends, and I was like, it was like the first time I saw a superhero or a movie based on comic books where I was like, wow, I'm like, this is actually a really cool movie. Like this is actually really good. Like he's driving in the desert with the in the Humvee, and it's like this is funny, and it really impressed me.
yeah, it was really good. I was shocked. Granted, I did like the Ed Norton Hulk movie, which apparently no one else did.
I blocked it out of my memory. I don't even have
You
like
should go
suppressed
back
it.
and watch it. It's better than you remember, I
No,
promise.
thank you. Yeah, I wish they'd make a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie because he's perfect for the Hulk.
Aren't they eventually gonna do it, or have they scrapped that? Because
I don't know. I think there might have been they were talking about a Planet Hulk movie. Because did you read Civil War?
I have not read Civil War. No.
So in the lead up to Civil War, and this actually happened in Age of Ultron, so they could have put this in. Maybe they will. The Hulk well, in the MCU, the Hulk like destroys New York City on a rampage. So at the beginning of the Civil War, the Avengers are basically like, okay, Bruce Banner, Hulk, things are getting really hot around here, so we're just gonna launch you into space. And they launch the Hulk into space, and then there's a series called Planet Hulk, where the planet that the Hulk lands on, he like becomes the in charge of it. And they were gonna make a movie about that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the timeline. It's going to be Civil War, Guardians 2, Thor, Avengers Infinity War Part 1, Captain Marvel, The Inhumans, on untitled Marvel film.
Yeah, there's a couple of untitled after that.
Oh, sorry, I was reading this wrong. Here we go. So it's Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man, Thor, Black Panther, Avengers Part 1, Ant-Man and Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Part 3, Inhumans, and then if this is still a thing in 4 years, three untitled movies.
Right. They're actually talking about not making the Inhumans movie because, well, they still could do it, but because that was kind of cannibalized by the show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Um,
Who?
I really, really wish. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's like who knows? Maybe Fox will have flopped enough that X-Men will be back in Marvel's
I
hands.
really hope so. I really, and the Fantastic Four. I wish they would pull a Sony and just say, "Okay, we're terrible at this. Here's your properties back." They would make more money at this point. Well, maybe not. I mean, Spider-Man makes they make shit tons of movies. Every X-Men movie they make. I don't know. I wish it's the thing about the X-Men movies is they're actually pretty good.
I mean,
First Class is good.
they're either really good or really bad.
I mean, First Class and Days of Future Past were really good.
Days of Future Past was okay. I mean, it
You
had
didn't
some
think it was really good?
it had plot holes big enough to drive a Buick through, man.
Well, every time travel, well, like what though?
Well, all the
Remember?
time travel stuff was
Yeah.
pretty iffy. Just like I don't know. Didn't feel
That
it.
was a fun movie. It was good. I love the scene with the better Quicksilver that they have.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing, like, especially Fox, go like, oh, look, Deadpool did so well. Let's make some R-rated superhero movies.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So I could see Fox trying to fill that niche.
I mean, they couldn't even. Okay, so taking it back to DC versus Marvel, I guess this is one of the things that DC has over Marvel. Like they can use whatever properties they want. I guess they couldn't even get the fucking Osborn Tower in the Avengers movie in the background where nobody would notice it.
Yeah, well, that's because of how, because, you know, Marvel originally was licensing movies
Yes,
instead of making them. And
yes.
so they licensed Spider-Man and X-Men and Fantastic Four. And so, because I actually watched this really interesting, like, mini documentary on how all this stuff works.
Hmm.
It's all about how, like, if a character is mainly perceived to be a part of a certain universe, a certain comic series, they belong to that, whoever they belong to the most. So while even though Kingpin plays a big part in Spider-Man, he's more related to Daredevil. So Marvel has Kingpin. It's weird. Like I'll have to send them to you. They're pretty
Okay,
good. But
I'll check that out.
yeah. So Doctor Doom is obviously Fantastic Four. So he's with Fantastic Four, and then so you have these really weird semi characters that like float between all of them, and so those are always in really weird nebulous kind of spaces.
It's it's weird, dude,
Yeah.
and it's really annoying.
Yeah, you know, Time Warner owns DC, and so they just made their own movies.
Hmm.
And you know, they had the means to make them into movies, and they've been making superhero movies for 30 years now, 30
Yeah.
plus years,
Yeah,
40
when
years.
Well, I guess. Wait, what do you mean Warner Brothers didn't?
Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah, I guess they didn't make. It was what's his production studio, Christopher Nolan. It's no, wait, Dark Knight. It must have been published by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they're the whatever, but I mean, they've been doing those kind of. I mean, the first Superman movie was in '78, so I mean, they've been making superhero movies for almost 40 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. So, movies, DC or Marvel?
I mean, obviously, that's actually tough. Because I really, really like all of the Dark Knight movies, all of them, even Dark Knight Rises. I love Christopher Nolan.
I really like Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't, but I mean, if you take all the really good Marvel movies, this is tough, dude.
Yeah, this.
It's not because I like Batman. It's because I like Christopher Nolan and the way he tells stories and directs movies. This is tough. I I'd have to say Marvel. If we're talking specifically about like I don't know, you go first.
Okay, so I think until the MCU started, it was DC.
I don't even remember any DC movies that happened before. I mean, except for the other Batman movies.
Well, I mean, let's see.
There's the Superman movies from a long time ago.
Right. But you also have to remember DC is Batman Begins and Dark Knight came out the same year as the first Iron Man. So there was really two movies there before the MCU started.
Right.
Um, but you also take in the Dark Horse movies, like the original Sin City. I thought was really good. Watchmen was really good.
Uh, I never really read Watchmen, so I kind of went into it like,
I didn't read Watchmen either, and I still thought it was pretty good.
yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. I like Zack Snyder. He's good.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah.
So and then the Batman movies were better. I'm trying to think. There were more DC
I mean,
movies.
after Batman, there's been Man of Steel.
That was, I mean, it was okay. It's just kind
I
of
thought
boring.
I thought it was a good movie. I've watched it two or three times now. Um, I like. Again, you have to really like Zack Snyder, I guess, and
I
everybody.
love Zack Snyder. Like,
Yeah,
I think he's really good.
I think
But
it's kind of jarring because you have Christopher Nolan producing, and you can tell he's like leaning on Zack Snyder to try and tell the story in Christopher Nolan's way,
mhm.
but Zack Snyder's trying to tell the story in Zack Snyder's way, and they just kind of smash up against each other. Like it's really dark and grim, but it's also really action packed and you know,
Right, right. Um,
and special
so
effectsy.
then you have the Batman movies from the 80s and 90s. You have Constantine in 2005.
I
Uh,
never saw that.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie, but it's fun. I did not realize Constantine and Batman Begins were the same year. You have V for Vendetta.
Oh, that was
Uh,
DC.
yeah, it was. I think it's Dark Horse technically,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean it's DC. The Losers was pretty fun.
See, but you're counting stuff that's not really DC.
It's
Like,
owned by DC. It's
but
under
like
the umbrella.
if you're comparing MCU to
Well, no, but
DC,
I'm also thinking about like the Fox movies too. The
yeah,
Fox and because like Spider-Man 1 and 2 were really good. I really like Spider-Man 2. It's like the Tobey
and
Maguire ones, not
I
the
know
new Spider-Man
I
ones.
don't think so. I never thought Spider-Man, any of the Spider-Man movies, were very good.
I
Um,
I I really liked Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 was awful.
I mean, I guess I liked them at the time, but like thinking back now and being spoiled by the amazing MCU movies, it's just like, what were we thinking?
Well, granted, I have not watched Spider-Man 2 since I saw it in the theaters.
uh,
So maybe if I went back and watched it, I would think differently.
maybe.
Um,
Oh
that's
wow, must have been a long time then.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
When was the
Uh,
first Spider-Man?
2099 or 2000. I'm pretty sure. No, it had to be
2002.
2000. I was about to say it had to be after 9/11 because
Mhm.
they had to take the Twin Towers
Right.
out. They didn't have to, but they did.
I think the only great things about those movies was J.K. Simmons. He's great. He's amazing. God, what a guy.
Then you had X1 and X2 were pretty decent movies. X3 was
Eh.
terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever saw X-Men 3 because X-Men 1 is okay. The next one is not so good, and then at that point, I'm always just like, I don't really want to watch the next movie.
Well, yeah, and I'm trying to think. Granted, these more movies I haven't seen in a long time.
Mhm.
But then you've got First Class, which I
It's
thought was
amazing.
fantastic.
Definitely
But all the Fantastic Four movies are terrible. All of them
horrible.
across
Yes,
the board,
I think I've
terrible.
only seen the first one. See, they had great casting, but just terrible everything else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it sucks because those are some of the best characters in the Marvel universe.
Hmm.
At least Mr. Fantastic and the Thing. The Thing is one of my favorite characters.
Hmm. Yeah. I was actually for a while we had the Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I was reading through a lot of Fantastic Four.
Wait, not the Thing. What am I?
Human Torch.
No, the Thing. They call him the Thing.
Yeah, the
Thing.
thing. Yeah,
Yes.
the big rock dude.
Did you know he's Jewish? It's really funny. Ed Grimm is Jewish.
Nice.
Yeah.
But obviously, since the MCU has started, Marvel has been crushing DC.
Yeah. And I don't remember if I said this on the last show, but like I just hope they can keep it up. Excuse me, sorry. I hope they can keep it up because it sounds like they're starting to like the things that made the original Marvel movies great were the risks that they took, especially the first Iron Man movie. And it sounds like they're willing to take less and less risks as the movies get more and more popular. So
Well,
I
you
don't
also
know.
have to remember. Well, let's see when the. I'm trying to remember when Disney bought Marvel.
2009, I think.
Um, yeah, 2009. So
And that was probably around the same time as Iron Man.
Iron Man was
2008.
2008.
But
But
that means that the movie was in development for like 2 or 3 years before that point.
right, so you're probably talking almost all of the first phase under Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Because if it's bought in August of 2009, Iron Man 2 is already in production, so is Thor, so is
But
Captain America.
we've seen Disney has the ability, at least for the most part, to kind of lay off, like with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The story is that J.J. Abrams was like totally, he had total free reign.
Right, but you
Um,
but you're starting to see the same sort of decline that people are worried about with Pixar. You
yeah,
can tell that they're starting to like really do too much with Pixar.
yeah,
I mean, because it feels like there's like two crap movies for every good movie now. When
yeah,
it used to, they had what 10 straight hits or whatever it was.
yeah. It's been a while since I've seen a Pixar movie.
Inside Out was really good.
I know I need to see it, and it's weird too because it sounds like Disney's animated stuff, not Pixar, that like Frozen and other movies are starting to take over for Pixar's
It feels
successes.
that way. It almost feels like a lot of people from Pixar were moved into Disney. That's what it
Yeah,
feels like. Just watching the movies. Like,
there was this short that came out really recently. Wait a minute, I'm gonna look it up. It actually won the Academy Award for best. It's called Feast.
so the one with the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I cried so hard because, and I didn't. It wasn't really the plot or the substance of the short. It was so amazingly crafted, and you could tell that so much talent and work went into this like 10-minute short. And I was just overwhelmed. I was like, I can't believe human beings like there's so much talent. You know what
Yeah,
I
that
mean?
was before Inside Out, I think.
Okay,
It's just like,
like it's
yeah.
just such a good idea to tell that story. Oh, it's so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a good, yeah.
Like, who the fuck thinks of that? God,
People who have time to just think shit up and then animate it.
I guess so, man.
Like, I think of a lot of things, I just don't have the time to actually do anything with it.
Yeah, yeah. 6 minutes. It was 6 minutes long, but it felt like a full length movie. I don't know. Oh, it was with Big Hero 6.
Oh, it was Big Hero 6.
And yeah, because it wasn't Pixar.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun movie, Big Hero
Yeah,
6.
that's another one I missed. I gotta see it. You know, Big Hero 6 was Marvel.
No, I
It's
guess
based on a Marvel comic.
I knew it was a comic. I didn't realize it was Marvel.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a manga.
no, it's Marvel.
Huh.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe they'll get pulled into the MCU.
Well, people are saying that about Star Wars. That'd be crazy, right?
I don't want them to actually pull it in, but I think it'd be hilarious if there was like you could just see the ship from Guardians of the Galaxy like in the background, sort of an
Mhm.
Easter egg, you know? I think that would be hilarious.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
I've tried. I've tried
Uh,
to watch it 3 or 4 times.
all right, I'll really quickly summarize this because it's funny. There's this episode where the main character, Leslie Nope, she there's like the town has like this really really old stupid law, and she's trying to get it repealed. And Patton Oswalt plays this. You know who Patton Oswalt is?
Yeah, I mean, I know the characters.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He plays this character who like is trying to keep the law, and so he filibusters the town council meeting. And the way he filibusters it is by reading this really long speech about Marvel and Star Wars and how they're going to converge on each other. It's really funny. There's an extended cut on YouTube of it. It's so funny. You should watch it.
Like, I love like the stuff I see online from it. I think it's hilarious, but I just I can't get into it, and I've
You know,
tried.
a suggestion would be to like go as much as you can through the first season because the second season is when it gets really good.
Right, and I've tried. I don't know. I just
Now, the first season is a different kind of humor. It's like super cringe humor, but it gets much easier after the second season.
it's gonna be one of those shows where I just gonna have to like sit down at like as soon as I get home from work on Friday and just power through until I just can't stay right.
Just the first season. It's like 6 episodes, and then the second season starts, and you're like, oh, okay, this is great.
Man, I don't know.
It's really good.
Because I've tried starting in the second season.
Yeah,
Still-
yeah, but that's kind of difficult because then you're missing stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those shows I want to like. I really, really want to like it,
Mhm.
but I can't.
No, I would definitely recommend to keep trying because it definitely gets really good.
Or it's another, or
Excuse me.
maybe, well, yeah, or it's sort of like Battlestar Galactica for me, which I really enjoyed. It just doesn't keep my interest.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch like the first 5 episodes of this first new season. Like, yeah, never got to episode 6 ever.
I tried to start Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the same thing happened. I was like, yeah, this is interesting, but this is so network TV, and I really don't want to watch this.
Well, that's another show where season 1 is rough.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like it. I mean, it's a typical Joss Whedon show. It really doesn't get good till season 2.
Mm.
I mean, unlike Firefly, which was amazing from day 1. But
Yeah. Don't talk about Firefly, please.
why? Which way are you gonna rant?
Oh no, I loved it, but I never told you this story. Wow, it really is like I have all these new stories. uh, Firefly, I was really enjoying it, and it's what 12 episodes.
I'm not sure how many there were once. 12 or 13.
And like, well, I guess Firefly spoilers. I don't know. I knew it was like super short. I knew that. I knew there was only so many episodes.
14 episodes.
Yeah, I knew there was 14 episodes when I went in. I was watching, and I get to the 14th episode, and I'm like, at that point I didn't. I think I forgot what episode I was on. You know how that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And what a time to forget what episode you're on. And so episode 14, getting to like the last 3 minutes of the episode, I had like a panic attack, and I was like, wait a minute, this is episode 14. I check. I'm like, yeah, this is the last episode. Getting to the last 3 minutes, it's almost over. What the fuck? There's supposed to be some kind of wrapping up of something, some kind of ending to this fucking series because it's about to be over forever. Nope. It just ends like there's going to be another episode right after.
Wow, man.
and I like posted this like frantic Facebook post that was like, I can't believe this is it, like all capital letters. I didn't think it would feel this bad.
It averaged almost 5 million viewers in an episode, and they still canceled it.
Yeah, I mean, it was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its
Did
time.
you watch it in the order it was supposed to be watched in, or the way order it was broadcast?
I think I watched it whatever the order Netflix.
That's the way it was supposed to be, because
Okay.
because like I want to say like the pilot episode wasn't until like the ninth episode.
That's weird. It sounds like they do that a lot. Because they did that to the Dresden Files too, I think.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can't find it. Um,
But
yeah, weird thing with me is like I had never heard of Firefly, right?
mhm.
So I go to college, and my
Oh, by the way, this was like last year when I watched Firefly, like a couple months ago, so it was pretty recently.
oh wow.
Yeah. Sorry, you're saying you went to college?
So I went to college, and my friends are like, "Hey, there's this movie called Serenity." Like I'd seen some previews for. It. I'm like, "That looks cool, sci-fi." No idea. I wouldn't go watch Serenity cold, and loved
Oh,
it.
oh,
I
that's good.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, "Yeah, it was a TV show." I'm like, show me now."
No, but Serenity made it even worse because this is why Serenity made it even worse. It was an okay movie, but it would have been so much better as like 3 seasons because they crammed so much stuff into like an hour and a half movie, and then it was like, wow, this would have been way better as 3.5 seasons, Joss Whedon probably wanted it to be. So now I'm
Right.
even sadder.
Yeah, fucking Fox. They canceled one of my favorite new sci-fi shows a
But
couple of years ago, Almost Human.
oh, I had a friend I think who watched that.
It was so good, and they were legit about it. They were
Yeah.
killing people, like yeah, because it was like a sort of a buddy cop show, but
Okay.
it was kind of dark. And there's this one where this guy is blowing people up,
Hmm.
and this one woman they just couldn't save. So they like put her in a force field and walked away. She was boom, and you're like, wow,
Oh
that's
God.
pretty serious. So yeah, I mean it was really good. It was averaging like 5.5, 6 million views an
Mhm.
episode, and they canceled it.
Yeah.
And they also did it out of order
Oh
because
yeah.
there was a couple times we were watching, like me and my wife, were like, did we miss something? What's going on here?
I don't know. We'll never understand how they work, right?
Well, especially Fox. I mean, Fox seems to fuck, especially Fox and sci-fi. Like,
Yeah.
if I
Well,
were a sci-fi show, I would never ever want to be picked up by Fox because they're going to kill you. They're going to murder you.
yeah. I mean, on the other side of the coin, they do take risks.
Yeah, I mean, but for whatever reason, it seems like that particular genre they just can't do. Like
Yeah.
there's somebody in management that doesn't understand the people who watch those type of shows.
Well, yeah, the people who watch those type of shows normally aren't network viewers, right? They're nerds. I mean, like I don't like Lost was a big deal because it tied a lot of sci-fi ish stuff into this like kind of normal drama. Same thing with Game of Thrones tied in. It made a lot of people who don't give a shit about fantasy really care about the series.
Mm. Yeah, Lost is one of those shows I've never seen.
Oh, you should shotgun that.
Yeah, eventually I will. Now that I know it's over, but like I just didn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like because like is everyone I've ever known who's watched it just
Uh,
like
in college, dude, I watched like 5 or 6 hours a day of Lost when I was
yeah,
trying to get up to speed. It was bad.
and
It was
I
bad.
just I've never like I'm just like it's just like just looking at it, some heroin and going, maybe I
Yep.
should put that in my
Yep.
veins. Maybe I
Yep.
should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Almost every episode of Lost ends with a hook. where it's like what happens on the next episode every time, and like 80% of the time, it's really like you want to keep watching. You want to know what happens.
Yeah, I knew it was addictive because like my dad doesn't really get into TV. He just
Hmm.
doesn't. You know, he's not who he is.
Hmm.
But him and my mom started watching it, and my mom is one of those people who she's in bed by 9 every night.
Hmm.
They were staying up to like 2 in the morning watching Lost. I'm like, holy shit! If it's doing that to my parents, I need to stay away.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, it went in and out a little bit.
So, like my parents, right? Like
Yeah.
my dad doesn't really watch TV. My mom's in bed by 9 p.m. every night. They were staying up to like 2 in the morning
Mhm.
watching Lost, and if it did that to them, it's gonna destroy me. So I just,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
It's tough, but it's a great show. It's worth it.
that's
At
what
least until the last season. The last season is bullshit.
that's what everybody says.
Mhm.
And somehow we got to Lost from DC and Marvel
Well,
movies.
hey, Lost was ABC, and ABC's owned by Disney, and Marvel's owned by Disney, and there you go.
Everything's owned by ABC almost.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Disney has reach.
Yeah, I've made this prediction before, but I've got a feeling that that Disney will eventually buy Netflix.
Disney, I don't know about that.
Well, because they signed that huge deal with Netflix
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 years ago. That's just now coming into effect.
I mean, I think part of the reason why Disney does so well is because it's not owned by any of the networks. And if Disney were to buy Netflix, then you wouldn't see any more Fox or NBC content on Netflix, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
And all the
that's my bold prediction.
I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping for a while that Google would buy Netflix. I thought that would be
Oh, I
really
don't want
cool.
that to happen at all.
Why? I
They
thought that'd be awesome.
they don't know anything about running a thing like that.
No, they have Google Play. It's okay. And YouTube. YouTube's huge.
Well, yeah, but that's all like creator content.
You can buy. I bought Agents of Shield the first season through. I bought it through Google Play, and you can watch it on YouTube. It's not bad. I don't know. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. I mean, I'm Google is one of my biggest things, so I want them to buy everything.
You're a bit of a Google whore.
Hmm. Hmm. I accept my Google overlords.
Yeah, I'm starting to now that I'm on Android.
Yes. Oh, I got an Nexus 6P over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been looking at the new Samsung, the 7. I'm just like,
they're pretty nice.
yeah, but like I've had two Samsungs and
Uh,
hated them both.
yeah,
I've had two Samsungs for a total of 5 weeks.
I feel you, man. I've had two of them for a total of like 4 days. I had the Note 3 for like 3 days, and I returned it. Um,
Maybe like everyone's saying like their new bake of Android is really good, so maybe
no, it's still not as good as regular Android, stock Android. Just buy a 6P. It's 425 right now.
I might. I'm also like waiting to see the LG G5 when it rolls out.
Just buy a 6P. It's 425.
Just buy the 6B. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's so cheap. Like to get. Oh, I guess if you're on Verizon,
AT&T.
Yeah, so you're gonna sign a contract.
Yeah, but like this phone, I've almost paid off, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll just keep it till it dies, so I don't like.
Hmm.
Because once I pay it off, there's my contract drops by like $20 a month.
Right.
So maybe I'll just like write it out. I don't know.
There's a lot of good deals on T-Mobile now.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
You,
T-Mobile's
you
not
can.
very good in Pittsburgh.
Well, if you yeah,
Because I've
'cause
looked, I've looked at them
yeah,
hard.
you could do Wi-Fi calling. So if you don't get such good reception in your house, you can call over Wi-Fi. Dude, you can get. I got 4 lines for 4 lines of unlimited data, $150 a month, and they have a buy one get one free right now for the Samsung S7,
Yeah, and it comes with like
the Gear VR.
the Gear VR like
Yeah,
design box. Yeah, I
That's a
know.
really good deal, dude.
It
That's like
is. And until like 2 days ago, they were off also offering a free year of Netflix.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really like T-Mobile. It's just, from what I understand, it's really spotty here in
Mm.
town. And
They have a thing where you can like try it for like a month, and then if you don't want it, you just return the phone. You should check it out.
yeah, maybe I will. One of these days, like I don't know, maybe they're getting because they're always getting better. I had T-Mobile in Oklahoma for a while,
Hmm.
and it was amazing when I was in a city.
Hmm.
But I was driving in between, and I would go dead for like 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah, there are parts of the country where it's rough.
Yeah, maybe even though it's not supposed to be great, maybe it'll be good enough.
Hmm.
I'll have to check it out. I'm like I would love to switch to T-Mobile because I mean all their free all the things that don't count towards the data cap. Or,
Yeah. Well, actually, that's kind of terrible because it's going against net neutrality. So I don't use any of that stuff, but I have unlimited data anyway. So
but isn't there unlimited data tiered? Like if you use so much, they drop your speed.
no, it's complete. Well, it's supposed to be completely unlimited. It because you can get I think three like there are tiers for less, and then they don't charge overages. They just lower your speed. But this is unlimited 4G LTE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Last time I looked, I don't think they had that option.
Hmm. Well, they're not going to have it for very long, probably. So you should hop on that.
Yeah. 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 One day.
Yeah.
Man, we're about an hour and 15, 20 into this. You
Yeah.
just want to go ahead and,
Well, we never really settled it, right? Marvel versus DC.
like I said, it depends.
It's Marvel. Marvel's the better.
I think the only clear cut winner is DC Games.
Yeah. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of Marvel games, so
I mean, just on the Arkham series alone. I
excuse
mean,
me. But then again, think about all those we were talking about last time, all those retro Marvel arcade games.
oh,
Right?
and those were fantastic, and I
Right.
loved them. And then you also have to deal with the Superman N64 game, which is widely considered the worst
Oh yeah, yeah.
64 game ever.
Yes. And one of the worst video games ever.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised there haven't been more game tie-ins, especially for Marvel.
Hmm. I'm surprised too. I think just tie-in games in general is like it's like a dying thing because they don't sell very well and they're never very good.
Yeah. One
So
thing I do like about Disney buying Lucas
hmm.
is now you're starting to get all the old Lucas games on like GOG and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've already picked up X-Wing versus like the X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, which are
Uh,
amazing. I even bought like a joystick for it.
really,
Yeah,
dude, get Elite Dangerous.
I already have it.
So we should play sometime.
I still got to figure out how to play it. It's got a pretty steep learning curve.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be a fun stream though. You, me, and Ryan playing Elite Dangerous.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do it before I move and go to the terrible Comcast internet I'm getting.
Oh, yeah.
So, granted, I've had this whole long thing with I'm talking to Comcast yesterday.
Yes.
And they're like, it's like, well, okay, the fastest internet you can get there is 7510. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's really.
Or 2 gigabits. I'm like, how much is that? They're like, it's $1,000 install and $300 a month. I'm like,
Oh my
ooh.
god.
So if anyone wants to move next door, we'll split it. We'll just run an Ethernet cord from house to house.
Yeah. That's rough, dude.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so there's nothing in between. So I talk them in a day, and so apparently I can actually get 150/10, which isn't great. I mean, it's good
Nah.
down, but it's terrible.
They're probably just telling you that it's probably never going to be 150.
Well, yeah, but if because I have to be within a third of a mile of their fiber line
Hmm.
to get gigabit.
Hmm.
So that means I'm not very far from actual fiber, so there's not much copper there.
Hmm.
So that'll help.
Hmm.
But they keep saying, I keep reading all these stories that Comcast has figured out how to push gigabit over copper, and I'm just give it to me already. It's like, like I even told the girl I was talking to today, it's like, look, if you could give me 1 gigabit for 150, I would pay the $1,000 install fee. That's
Even at 300 a month, I'd probably do it. If they would let me pay off the $1,000 install across several months, like add it to the bill, I'd probably do it.
honestly 200. I told my wife this. If it was $200,
Hmm.
I would really heavily consider it.
Hmm.
The 300, man, that's so much money.
It is, and you're probably never gonna get that speed anyway.
Well, I mean, hell. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, look, I even told her, I was like, Google can do it for 80. Why
Yeah.
can't you?
Did you ask about their business plans?
They're terribly expensive.
Uh,
But you get a
Bummer.
lot of stuff for, like, you get all sorts of extra crap if you have a business plan.
mhm.
Like, most business plans are guaranteed to never be less than 5% of max and
Right.
all that stuff. So, there's, man, one day. It's the only problem about, like, we're moving toward the edge of town. The only
Mhm.
problem with that is internet options aren't the best. Like, I would kill to keep my FiOS.
I feel you, man. That sucks.
Especially because I was talking to him, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe we should get cable, right? Would it would reduce the strain on the internet since it won't be as fast. Especially when I was thinking it was going to be 7510,
Hmm.
which I haven't been on something as slow as 75 megabits in like 4 years.
I'm on 75 right now.
I mean, I've been on. Well, when I first signed up with Cox Internet, it was 7520.
Hmm.
And by the time I left my apartment, it was 15020, and for the same price because they
Yeah.
kept rolling out new tiers. They just kept bumping me up, and every once in a while I get a phone call like, "Hey, your internet's now this." Like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
so over the 3 years, it doubled in speed. But they're like, "Well, maybe we should get TV." Maybe. So I was talking to him today about it. I'm like, "Well, so what's it going to cost me to?" Get the 15010 with television, because I do like to watch my sports, especially during college football season.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, it's not bad. It's only $140 a month with the internet and 220 channels. I'm like, oh, that sounds so bad. I'm like, so it's like, are you interested in HD? I'm like, yes,
Yeah, no,
obviously.
sure, yeah.
I
You
mean,
have to pay per TV.
yeah, they're like, well, that's gonna be an extra $20. How about DVR? Extra $20. Like,
Hmm.
so what is this gonna be when it's all said and done? It's like $190 a month. How much is just the 15010 internet? 82. I'll
Hmm.
take that.
That's how they get you.
So, I mean, now that I don't acquire as much from the internets as I used to,
Hmm.
my data usage isn't terrible.
Hmm.
So I shouldn't really deal with the cap too much. So hopefully not deal with the cap too much.
Well,
There,
good
there was
luck.
there was a while in there where I was really rounding out my back catalog.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was acquiring a lot.
I mean, I when I had my own apartment for a year before I done moved back home like a loser, and I was kind of frequently checking my own bandwidth. I was regularly using like 500 gigs a month because I stream Netflix all day, literally, and all night, literally.
Yeah, well that happened to me when I was working from home. I think we talked about this. Like I
Yeah,
was constantly streaming Spotify,
yeah.
and I saw probably a 75 gig jump in our data.
Hmm.
I even asked, like, because I went over the cap once or twice. I also had like acquired all of Friends in Blu-ray quality, so that was a pretty hefty hefty month. But I
20.
was like, uh, can I just pay for a bigger cap? And I'm like, no, like, son of a bitch.
It's really dumb.
I saw one company around here. I can't get them, but they have caps, but
Hmm.
it's 3 terabytes a month.
Oh, that's a
Like,
lot.
like if you're constantly hitting 3 terabytes, you probably are
Yeah,
doing something wrong.
I'd agree with
Or
that.
running like crazy servers. Like
I'd agree
you're
with that.
basically hosting. You're basically doing a hosting farm in your
Yeah,
closet.
yeah.
There was somebody I remember reading that FiOS cut off because he was averaging, I want to say like 40 terabytes a month. So it's
Dang.
not unlimited. Unlimited. They will pull the plug if you
No,
do
yeah,
40 terabytes a month.
yeah. T-Mobile does the same thing. Like it is unlimited, but you can't use like terabytes of data. Um, yeah.
Um. Oh crap! I just lost my train of thought. So I need to post this to Twitter, but I was talking to the Comcast person. It said the person's name was Ashley. It was probably some dude in India, but
Yeah.
you never know. And so they kept saying blast internet, and I was like, capital B, LAST exclamation point. So I just asked him, was like, do you have to type that exclamation point every time you say blast? It's like, yes.
Uh, that
or
must be annoying.
when I was talking to the guys yesterday, like, so what are you looking for? And I said, the fastest internet I can possibly have.
Hmm.
Oh, let me ask you some questions so we can find you the best package. I'm like, no, I just want to know what the fastest internet is. Like, I told you what I wanted and you still didn't listen.
They don't get it, man. They don't get it.
One day, well, one day again, I will pick up the phone and get internet and won't ask for the fastest I can get my hands on. Because when I got FiOS, I looked it up. I'm like, I really don't need to spend that much for 500, 500.
Hmm.
Hell, I didn't even pay $200 a month for 250, 250.
Yeah. I, you'll be okay with 75. I mean,
No, I'm at 150.10, so I got that.
yeah. I mean, does everyone in your household end up doing a lot of downloading at the same time?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's just me and my wife, so
Yeah,
there's no kids or anything.
yeah,
So not really. The only time it might get, and it really won't get strained on the up. I mean, I could, or on the down. I could see the up getting problems because with Skype and video chat and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So that could be a problem. But I'm gonna run a hardwire to my podcast studio. I'm gonna build in the basement.
Uh,
Gonna go for it.
yeah. Well, that's why Verizon's one of the reasons why Verizon is nice. They always match the up and down speed.
It's symmetrical. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's so nice. Because I was thinking about it, because I always upload the podcast and everything. I'm like, oh, this is going to take so much longer when
Yeah.
I move.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Mhm.
It's a nice house.
Sure. Eventually, I'm sure there'll be better internet rolling out.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. I know Pittsburgh is suing Verizon right now, so
Oh my
maybe.
god.
Yeah, because they gave them all this like money to build out FiOS, and they only built it out like half as much as they said they would. Apparently, a
Oh,
bunch of cities are doing that.
yeah. The telecoms in this country are so fucked up.
Yeah. Oh,
God.
we could have an entire episode about just like how
We
terrible.
should. We should.
And I know like it's about how like there's so much infrastructure in place, so it's really expensive to replace. But and it's
Oh,
so,
if you're gonna take fucking money from the government, then do what you said
oh
that
yeah,
got you that money. Like, there's no excuse. No excuse. They're greedy. It just goes right into their pockets.
yeah. Well, and Verizon's already selling off a lot of their FiOS network.
Well, they're trying to switch a lot. I know we're trying to end the show. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
They're trying to switch to a lot to convince people to use like mobile hotspots and 4G LTE because A, they can charge a lot more for it, and B, it's like killing two birds with one stone because they have to build it out for their wireless infrastructure anyway. So I don't know.
So semi-related. Have you seen Starry, the new Stardust from the guy who did Aereo?
Oh yeah, that's a piece of shit. I think you guys talked about that on one of your shows, right?
Yeah, we did a little bit.
All right, that's never gonna work.
The science is there.
Mm, it's like a mesh network, right?
It's micrometer wave or millimeter wavelengths.
Yeah, and they're gonna put satellites in the sky. I don't know. It's crazy, man.
No,
But that guy, if it wasn't that guy who tried to start Arrow, I would probably say, like, I'd really say no way. But that guy, he's crazy.
yeah, that's the same way. Like if it had been anyone else, I'd be like whatever. But I mean, Ariel was so good that he had to be taken to the Supreme Court.
hmm
I mean, so that's pretty legit. And if you can do that and disrupt the technology that much,
hmm
and you have faith in this, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. The even crazier thing about Arrow, was he was like, I think he was involved with Fox, right?
Hmm.
And he was really involved in the television industry. Um, wait, I wanna like he was basically the wait, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on, it's gonna take me a minute.
That's cool.
Dead Air.
Ba-da-da-da.
No, but
Wait.
Arrow was a really great concept. Um,
Oh yeah, I was waiting for it because I was living in Tulsa at the time, and my friend who lived in Dallas had it, and he loved it.
yeah, yeah. I tried to get it from New York, but it never allowed me to.
So
Um,
VPNs are for, man.
yeah, I could have tried
Well,
that.
yeah, you also have to have an address. But yeah, I really like that idea. Uh, I like what Sling is doing right now, like in PlayStation View TV.
Yeah. I tried Sling when it first came out, and it was the shittiest piece of shit software I ever used. I hope it's gotten better since then. It was like,
It's gotten better, but I mean, the only reason I really got it
mm,
was for ESPN
hmm
for college football season. So what I would do is I would just use my login to jump into the ESPN app, which
hmm
generally worked pretty good. I mean, every once in a while I watch stuff on it, but I mean, it's yeah, that's all I really did with Sling was watch football.
okay. I was trying to use it for HBO.
Well, couldn't you just use your login and log in directly into HBO?
I didn't. I don't think I had it at the time.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't find out what I was gonna say. So never mind.
Ah,
Maybe it was someone else that was. Anyway, it's gonna. I'll probably bring it up like the next time I'm on the show. It's gonna take me that long.
well, whenever you're ready, whenever you want to come on, man, you're more
All
than
right.
welcome. Ryan here, not here, you're more than welcome to come on. Any of y'all are.
Cool. Ryan's back next week, though.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I'll be here.
uh,
Next week, yes. The week after may be a little iffy.
what's
Just
going
because
on?
it'll be
Other
right
moving.
after the move and everything else. I mean, I should have everything set up by then, but on the off chance I don't,
hmm
uh, so we'll let you know. I mean, whatever. So if we need people, since you seem to be the only one who can do things during the week.
It was Barry Diller. Barry Diller, media executive. Hold on. Fox Broadcasting. He was responsible for the creation of Fox Broadcasting Company and USA Broadcasting.
Wow.
And there's one other thing that he's famous for. Pioneering the concept of made-for-television movie. This guy backed. So it's not actually the guy that I was thinking. It's not actually the guy that started Arrow, but it was backed by IAC, which is the company that was created by this media executive.
Huh.
Yes,
Did not know that.
so it was a big deal.
Uh,
Got
good.
it.
Oh, hear my wife cursing at Bioshock right now. It's pretty funny.
Oh, which one?
She's doing Burial at Sea.
Oh, I
The
never did. I didn't play through that.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's been playing through Infinite the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Did you have you played that?
I played it. Yeah, I haven't played it
Yeah.
all the way through, but I've seen it all the way through a couple of
Okay.
times.
What did you think?
It's really interesting.
Hmm.
It's one of those games like my wife will play through it about twice a year, 3 times a year.
Hmm.
She loves it.
I think
Um,
it's definitely one of the best games I've ever played. But the first half is way 1,000 times better than the second half. Actually, the first hour is like 1,000 times better than the rest of the game.
yeah, I kind of got that feeling too. I mean, the
Yeah.
original Bioshock is amazing.
Hmm. No, I
Uh,
never. I'm not a horror person, so I don't play like anything like that. So
no jump scares for you, huh?
no, no.
I mean, it's messed up, but I mean,
Mhm.
it's messed up like Bioshock Infinite's messed up. So
And well, that's that guy's name, Ken Levine. He's the. I think he was. I don't. It was like his idea, basically. He's
right, and
really
he
good
did
at
the
that too.
original System Shocks, and
Yeah. Yeah.
which that's a game I need to go back and play. I played some of it. And it's pretty good for especially for its age.
Hmm. Hmm. I think they're remastering it.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I didn't like about it, it was made really before WASD was like the standard, and so it was
Yeah.
WAXD, and I couldn't adjust.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's
you
like
didn't remap the controls.
do what?
You remap the keys.
I did, and it
Mhm.
still was X.
That's that's weird.
Yeah,
Tribes 2 was like that. It was instead of WASD, it was ESDF.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, or I don't know
Just
if you
weird.
remember way back in the day, we used to have to use the arrow keys on the right side of the keyboard
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
I remember doing that in like Dark Forces. You know, you stretch all the way across your keyboard
yeah.
using your mouse, or worse, you work in the number pad.
Yeah.
I,
I played some of those games.
I love the original Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, like Dark Forces 2. So good.
The Star Wars games. I didn't really play too many of the earlier ones. But Jedi Academy, did you ever play? That was the last Jedi Knight game.
No, I never got that far.
It's the best Star Wars game ever. That could be another discussion.
Oh, that's an entire other podcast. What's the best Star Wars game ever?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because you got to go all the way back to like the old arcade game you set in with like the vector graphics.
Mhm.
Then you got like Pod Racer on the 64, which was hella fun.
The only good part of the new trilogy.
Pretty much, yeah. Everyone tells me KOTOR is really good, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I haven't. I keep playing like the first 10 minutes of that game and stopping. I need to. I probably own it for like 4 different platforms now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got so many because I've got X-wing, I have X-wing and Tie Fighter and GOG. I picked up another Star Wars bundle on Humble Bundle, so
Mhm.
now I have them on Steam.
Yeah, you might actually own Jedi Academy already.
Actually, I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. It's back when I like 2 winter sales ago. They had their entire Star Wars catalog for $20. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
there goes $20. But
Mhm.
Jedi Knight didn't work. It pissed me off. Like
Oh,
it was
really?
completely broken.
So you didn't? There's Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Knight 3, Jedi Academy. No,
Yeah, I think so.
or was it?
And then there's Mysteries of the Sith, which is a Jedi Knight game, but it's not really in the chronology. It's where you play as
Mm.
Mara Jade.
Whoa, there was a game where you played as Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Uh,
Dark Forces 2, Mysteries of the Sith.
yeah, Mysteries of the Sith is where you play as Mara Jade.
Oh, okay. Jedi Knight. The first Jedi Knight was Dark Forces 2. That's
Right.
very.
And then it turned into the Jedi Knight series.
I wonder if they sell. This is cool. I didn't know there was a game you played as Mara Jade.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, it came out right on the heels of Jedi Knight, so it was I think it'd be an identical engine,
Hmm.
but it was it was really fun. Had good multiplayer. It was like Jedi Knight was like one of the first multiplayer games I ever played online.
Oh yeah.
People hated me because in Jedi Knight you had the light side, dark side, and you could like pick powers from both of them.
Hmm.
But if you went all light or all dark, you got a special bonus power.
Hmm.
And the special bonus power for the Sith was basically death vision. Anything you looked at took damage. So I was playing in the server with like 6 people, and there was this big battle going on. So I got basically up in a sniper's crow's nest and turned on the death vision and killed the entire server. And I immediately got kicked. Like the people would always bitch. I'm like, it's you could do it too. It's in. I'm not like breaking the game here.
Yeah. People are dicks.
People, people are dicks on the internet.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you see that one guy is getting getting his the guy who was in charge, like was the main hacker in the fappening is
Oh yeah, he
getting
got
like,
caught today. I saw that.
yeah, he got a like 3 years in prison or something.
Yeah. Oh, did he get actually convicted?
Yeah, he got convicted of some like unlawful use of something or other.
I mean, hmm. Hacker who self-levies news will plead guilty to the 2014 hack. But did he actually do any hacking?
I, I
Phishing scheme. I guess it's illegal. I guess you're being fraudulent if you send emails that are illegal. You know,
right.
5 years in prison. I mean, it's pretty fucked up. It was really fucked up. You know, you shouldn't release photos of people if it's against their consent. If you don't have their consent.
Just yeah, you shouldn't do anything towards or to anyone without their consent.
Well, that gets kind of hairy. Uh, we're gonna have to have that super fight podcast, aren't we? You should have heard the other Alex talking about feminism. I was like, are you
What?
sure you have a vagina? Because this is pretty crazy.
Wait, on the last Dresden cast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should
oh yeah,
listen to it.
I listened to it.
Yeah. Oh, good. That was we had to talk about it afterwards after the episode was over, and because I'm by no means like necessarily a feminist. Like I don't know. I'm not like the person who you talk to about it. I know a lot of other people who are better to talk to about it than me, and it was rough.
That would be an interesting. We should definitely have a super fight about this.
Hmm. Well, like I'm saying, like we need to get someone who actually knows anything about feminism so that they can talk about it, and it's not just me being like, "Well, I think feminism, blah blah blah." You know.
I guarantee you, if we actually decide to do it, it'll be no big deal to find someone who wants
Oh yeah, yeah,
to carry that torch.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, that would be fun to do, and I would just play devil's advocate so hard and crush him. It'd be so much fun.
Well, soon, right? So we're gonna get that off the ground.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things like we talk about it, but no one's really doing anything about it.
Yeah, we're all pretty busy. I think, especially Director Alex, she'll have time probably this summer.
Yeah,
She's
that's
done
what I was
school.
guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We were like trying to end the show, and then it was like
30 minutes later, we're still going.
we never really settled Marvel versus DC.
I'm just gonna go with a good. It depends.
It depends. Well, as ever, I will have to say Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, I gotta lean towards Marvel too because I like the heroes a lot more.
Even the villains are great. The villains are great. Red Skull's great. Doctor Doom's great. Who else? The Purple Man is pretty. I mean, he's a
Yeah,
horrible human being, but he's great.
yeah. The problem.
Magneto is often cited as one of the best supervillains ever.
Yeah, and that's one thing I liked about First Class is they really did
Mhm.
have the which side would you really choose? You know, because let's be
Plus, like
honest,
his
if
story makes so much sense and is so compelling. It's like, oh God, he was literally in the Holocaust, and it's like, sorry, what were you saying?
oh it's if you were a mutant and they were treating you that way, wouldn't you probably follow Magneto?
Yeah,
I mean, let's just be
especially,
honest.
and it's like you can kind of understand what Magneto's doing, kind of. Like, I'm the kind of person who never, ever, ever forgives um, fictional characters who have done evil things. Like Snape, never forgiving him. I don't know who are some other characters that are double-sided. There's tons of them in the Dresden Files, but Magneto is one of the only characters where I can like kind of accept it.
Well, it's easy to empathize with them, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. And that's why Marvel's better.
Yes, Marvel to me was always humans who had superpowers, where DC is more just about the superheroes.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's one reason I always like Spider-Man. He's like, it's a dude,
Yeah,
you know?
he's cool.
He's just a dude, and he got bit by a spider, and now he's got all this shit thrown upon him. He doesn't know what to do.
And he gets to date Black Cat.
Hmm.
Cool.
Did you ever see Chronicle?
No.
It was an indie movie, sort of a lost footage kind of movie.
Okay.
It's about these kids who get superpowers.
Oh, it was recent. It was like a couple years ago,
A
right?
couple of years ago, yeah.
And I didn't see it.
It's really good.
Okay.
It kind of drags near the end, but it's really good. Like, this is exactly what high school kids would do if they had superpowers. They wouldn't become Spider-Man. They would become assholes. It's really good. Like, it's definitely worth checking out.
Okay. Yes, I will check it out.
Like, it's good enough that I actually bought it.
Oh yeah.
Like, we rented it one day and it was like, wow, this is really good. I should buy it on Blu-ray. So I actually bought it.
I'll check it out.
We're just like, we're just all over the place.
Yeah. It's great. I thought that's what this was all about.
It is what it's all about. It's just, it's just weird. It's been a while since I've been this just all over the map with
Yeah.
with the podcast.
Great.
Yeah, your last podcast was pretty well received on the downloads.
Oh really?
Yeah, like more than our normal.
I won't let that go to my head.
I'm sure the title didn't hurt either.
Oh, the one where we talked about Harry Potter, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one with Harry Potter. It's like the one like one of the early episodes, the one about porn. It gets a huge watch, like on YouTube and and on the downloads.
Mm. I should check that one out.
Oh yeah, we talked about all sorts of like, because like Pornhub had released a bunch of statistics about
Oh, the
their
different
website,
countries.
different countries, different search terms, that kind of crap.
What
That
are
was
you
good.
guys on YouTube?
42 podcast, I think. I've been trying to update it, and definitely will work harder before I leave this wonderful internet.
Is it 40?
FORTY, the numeral 2 podcast.
Oh, there you are.
You can see some of my terrible, like, trying to do Let's Plays with Dota.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely watch.
Most of that was just, like, trying to figure out the best way to do it, but
Yeah,
I think I've got, like, the first 30-something episodes up on YouTube.
I'll check it out. Did you talk about Broken Jars yet?
Yes, we have. We'll plug it again. BrokenJars.xyz. It's our new awesome thing we're doing. The collective of podcasts and gaming channels and stuff. I think that's the best way to say it. It's just,
Yeah.
we may eventually have blogs on there too, because I've got a friend who blogs a lot, and I told him he might start doing something, for funsies. if you want to do something, let us know. Broken Jars Broadcasting at gmail.com. Be more than happy to look at you and see what you're doing. And if you want to hop on board, we'll host you. All you got to do is create the content. And we'll pretty much do anything as long as it isn't like super crazy. Like no militant anything.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you think your cause is. If you're going crazy with it, no. Even if it's a good cause. If you push it too far, no.
So would you allow a Donald Trump podcast as long as it's not militant?
Like he's a he's a terrible person. Don't ever vote for him, and here's why.
No, they're just so there you go. There are some limits on the things that you can do.
There are some limits, but not many.
Okay.
like I said, I mean, we all curse quite a bit in our podcast, so that's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't want you to call I don't want you calling to kill anybody or to hurt anybody or to steal things. Don't do any of that kind of stuff. No advocating breaking most laws.
Don't do that ever. Man, I got the best I told you so into this. Well, first of all, obviously I don't support Trump. He's insane. So whenever, and I know we're trying to end the show. One more story. Whenever I talk about Trump and like at all for any reason, people are like, "Oh, okay, so you support Trump?" No, fucking hate Trump. But I got the best I told you so in today. Like a couple months ago, my friend and I were talking about Donald Trump, and I was like, I don't know, it's possible he might, start gaining traction. It's definitely possible. And then it was like, and then my friend was like, no way, dude, it's never going to happen. And it's like 4 months later, he's pretty much going to win the nomination. There's almost no way. Unless they do a brokered convention, he's going to win.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's with him not winning Ohio and splitting a lot of votes in a lot of other places. There's a chance.
It's a chance that there'll be that he won't have a majority,
right?
And then it becomes a brokered convention. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way to stop him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. And now, Rubio's out, so all of his delegates are free agents.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm surprised they don't have, a backup thing. Okay, well...
He wasn't supposed to leave.
Yeah, right.
He wasn't supposed to leave. I don't know. He just did so terribly, I guess. There was a great Reddit post about him quitting and everybody just ragging on him.
Yeah, I think he was, the guy. He was going to win the whole thing.
Yep.
I don't know. The only choices for president are bad, worse, even worse. Just terrible.
It's true. This is not a great year for the presidential election.
All I can think is is this seriously the best we can do? Mm-hmm. Is this seriously the best we can do?
It's definitely messed up.
It's kind of like when in 2012. I mean, if any incumbent president, defeating a seated president is hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
If any incumbent president was gonna get beat, it was Obama in 2012.
Yeah.
I'm and the best you can do is put Romney out there? Really?
I think this is a topic for another time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Romney seems like a great choice compared to everyone else right now.
That's true. That's true.
One of those sad yet true statements.
Ted Cruz. I'm gonna go off if we go into this. You won't be able to stop me.
Next time.
Right. So.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the super fight about economic theory. That'll never happen because that's my deal.
It'll happen. Which side do you come on in?
I tend to be more, Austrian, laissez-faire, within reason, obviously. There are, this is. I'm too tired to actually really get into this right now, but there's a lot of things. I'm really interested to see, because Quebec is trying to do guaranteed minimal income.
Oh, wow.
Which...
Everybody gets money, even if they're not working.
Right. But and that's been really intriguing to me because so in the United States, if you were to make the bottom 45% of earners tax rate zero, the government would actually make more money
because they're actually getting
because of all the credits and everything that go
yeah,
out. You know, there's a lot of people who make a lot more out of the system than they put in.
right.
Um, so my thought is like if you were to do away with every social program, right? No more Social Security, no more Medicaid, nothing, or pretty much every, and did guarantee an income, would it be cheaper and maybe raise people's standard of living?
Too bad nobody would ever go for that, even if it's smarter.
Yeah, I mean, but you'd have. Well, see, the thing is, no one would ever go for it because you'd be getting rid of the people on the right wouldn't go for it because it's crazy socialism, and the people on
Right,
the left wouldn't go for it because you're ending a lot of social programs.
right.
So I don't know.
Hey, I agree with you, but that's what I don't understand about people hating on Obamacare. It's like, why would you fight to not have health insurance?
It's it's
I get that it's a personal freedom thing, but the only way for I know like right on the show, the only way for health insurance in this country to work is if everybody's paying for it, right?
right. I mean, there's what I would the way it's done and the way they're pushing things is making it more expensive than it needs to be. It's not a free market solution. Because I mean, I used to shop because I used to have my own individual health insurance
Hmm.
for a long time,
Hmm.
and the day the benefits that my policy were giving me, the price tripled the day the exchanges went into effect for what I was getting. So I
I
went
mean,
from
that
like
sounds like a terrible health insurance company. That's not really right.
no, but it was the exchange. But it was because that was considered a better than normal plan. It was
Right.
taxed super high. So I went from the price went from 260 a month to almost 700.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so it's a very inefficient system.
Well, I think the whole idea, right, was to make healthcare companies make less money.
But that see
So
that's okay.
ra-
So no, but
instead of raising your healthcare plan in order to afford subsidizing other plans, they could have just made less money.
right, but insurance companies on average make 2% profit.
That's got to be bullshit.
It's not.
That's crazy.
I mean, their
I mean,
margins are razor thin as it is. I mean,
yeah, but they might the 2% profit might still be like billions and billions of
it's still
dollars.
only 2%. That means
They should be making like I'm probably pretty liberal when it comes to this to social stuff. Like I mean to economic stuff. Like I believe there should be a cap on the amount of money people can make, and that people making more money should be taxed higher than people making less money.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it works now.
sort of. There's no cap on the amount of money you can make.
Well, there should never be a cap on the amount of money you can make because
That's
it
true.
encouraged it. If there
There
was a
shouldn't be sorry. There shouldn't be a cap on like the amount of profit you can make as a company, but like bonuses and salary, there maybe there should be a cap.
right, but then I mean, if you start taking away incentives, then you won't be getting as much awesome stuff. I mean, if there were certain caps and certain things in place, you wouldn't have Google, you wouldn't have Amazon.
People can just be less greedy.
Well, I mean, greed is good, right? In a lot of respects, greed is good.
Well, greed is what destabilized the global economy in 2008 with the subprime mortgages.
Well, yes, but
Greed
oh,
is what destabilized the economy in 2008 with the
okay.
subprime mortgages. Like,
But okay, so first thing about subprime mortgages,
okay,
they never should have been. They were pushed by the U.S. government, and they were
mm,
required by the U.S. government back in the '90s. Clinton signed the act in like 92 or 93.
Okay.
So A, they never would have been there in a truly free market. B, I don't even
Wait,
know.
that's BS. That's not true. The truly free market was the companies themselves accepting the loans. That's got to be not.
No, but the thing is with Fannie and Freddie, there was a backer for the loans. So most bankers could take the loans and then immediately sell them to the government. That's what happened.
Subprime lending. Hold on. I kept looking this up because so follows from bundling American subprime and emerging into MBSs.
And then I don't like I've got a pretty good head for, options and stuff, but the credit default swap was I still cannot get my head around how it works.
What is that?
Okay, the credit default swap is this way of insuring mortgages that basically, as long as things keep going up, you keep making money, but they drop, you lose a ton. And you could leverage it 100-fold. So you could basically, on $100,000 home, you could basically bet $10 million on that $100,000 home. And that's what really destabilized the economy was all this money floating around in these credit default swaps. So when the bottom fell out of the economy and home prices fell, all those guys who were leveraged to the hilt lost everything.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's more than just like the loans going bad. I mean, if the loans had just gone bad, it wouldn't have, I mean, it would have been a big deal, but it wouldn't have been nearly as big of a deal as it was. But since so much money was leveraged on top of these loans, stupidly, I'm not saying it was smart, but since so much money was on top of those loans,
Let's go back. Sorry. Let's go back to subprime mortgages because I think you kind of got it wrong. In this very quick reading on Wikipedia that I did, it sounds like the subprime mortgages were allowed. Yes, you're right. They were allowed to happen because of the how it was tied to the U.S. government. But the banks took advantage of like they didn't have to. They weren't required to accept those loans. They just saw an opportunity to make tons of money, even though they knew it was going to fuck everyone.
mm-hmm.
Right. The bursting of the U.S. housing bubble, which peaked in 2004, caused the values of securities tied to U.S. real estate. Securities are things with the government. Real estate pricing to plummet, damaging financial institutions, blah, blah, blah. Providing easier access to loans for subprime borrowers, and then that's how it started.
Right, that's how it started, but I mean, there's more. There's
The
more.
banks were giving out loans to people that they knew were not going to be able to pay them back.
Hold on, I'm pulling something up here.
Okay. And that's why many of them folded, like one after one.
So yeah, I mean, I'm reading this Forbes article.
I mean, banks, man. Money.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go into this more because I know I am more right than that Wikipedia article is.
Okay.
You know,
I thought that was a widely accepted thing.
it is widely accepted and it's widely wrong. I mean,
So wait.
the banks,
The banks didn't take loans from people who they knew were going to fold.
yes, they did,
They did, right.
but they had the insurance of the U.S. government, so they made the
That's
loans.
BS. That's BS. That's like saying I have really good health insurance, so it's okay for you to shoot me in the face.
No, It's like
That's exactly like what it's saying.
no, it's saying I can make money with zero risk by selling it off. I
But
can make it. I can do something terrible.
no, no, no. But again, okay, so there's zero risk in getting shot in the face because you have really good health insurance. But do you see what I'm saying? See the leap in logic there? Just because the U.S. government is backing you, if you have knowledge that they don't have the means to back you, and you do it anyway, then you're taking advantage of people.
Well, I, I didn't. What the banks did was wrong and stupid,
Right.
but they wouldn't have been able to do it without a artificial safety blanket.
They still shouldn't have done it.
Well, I did. That's not the. That's
We
not
should
what
get-
I'm saying.
We
They
get
should
Alex-
not have done it.
we
But
should
the
get
reason
other
they
Alex
could do
behind
it.
him. because the other Alex would probably like agree with you even more. He was pretty conservative.
Oh, man, this is gonna be one of my longest 42 podcasts ever.
Yeah, it's an epic.
It's 2+.
It's a podcast opera. Get it? Like they call Star Wars a space opera.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, space opera. Good times. Okay, let's really end it this time.
Wait. Did we ever decide on Marvel versus? All right, I got
It depends. It depends. That's the answer. It really depends.
Okay,
So,
so
ladies and gentlemen, from all of us here at the 42 Podcast, we appreciate you coming to this it's mega giant episode of the 42 Podcast. And we hope to see you all next week.